opening. You cannot straight away jump into the topic. You need to have a very clear opening, body and a conclusion. That's when your message becomes powerful. You can have a variety of opening.
Have you said confusion?
Conclusion. Opening, body and conclusion. Do you remember the opening that I had?
Yes. Yep.
I caught you with a story, right? Now, that is only to make sure that the lunch is not taking its effect, just to keep everybody up. So come up with your own story, with your own, maybe ask the people some startling question, or come up with some mind-boggling quote, come up with some mind-boggling statistics that will make people fall from the chair, right? One interesting statistic that I recently read was, do you know what is the fastest growing segment in Facebook? With what kind of profile is the fastest growing segment in Facebook?
The older generation.
Sorry?
The older.
Older generation.
Politics. Maybe politics.
Politics. Yeah, I think you are almost close. The answer is women who are 60 plus old and older.
Oh, I thought guys. Okay.
Women. It's a true fact, right? Now I'm just giving an example. Like that, just ask some questions, make people think, make your presence felt, right? And your body, see again, at the opening, you have to say where you're going to take them, right? For example, if you're going to talk about mobility, now what is the area in mobility that you're focusing on for the next 30 minutes? And why is it so important? That should be your prime focus when you talk about your opening. And then you're going to substantiate that with lot of facts, lot of research that you have done, lot of statistics and your own personal experience and application orientation, what is happening around that, blah 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 blah. I think those are things that you already know. And then finally, when you conclude, you got to reiterate what you have mentioned. Now, it is very important that you tell a story, make a point. That's the best and the only right way to make your speaking effective. You have to necessarily come with a lot of examples, stories. If you just give them theory, you're going to bore those audience. Nobody's going to like it. And if you just tell them in a very, very formal manner, again you're going to fail. Make it lighter. Make it lighter. You can be informal. You don't have to sound very formal all the time in this kind of a situation, particularly when you are not able to make that personal connection. You can make a personal connection when your people are face to face. It is easy for me to connect with you here than connecting with two people who are on the phone, because they are invisible, right? Now, it makes the job even more difficult. Now, how do I do that? I'll have to break the barrier. There is a barrier between the speaker and the audience. So the great speakers are the ones who will break that barrier, who will make it look as if you are speaking one-on-one with every individual. If there are 100 people in the audience, every individual will feel that this speaker is speaking one-on-one to me. If you're able to create that kind of feeling, that's when you call yourself a great speaker. Now, how can that be achieved? Don't be too formal. Nobody likes it. You need not be, right? Make it sound very lighter, as if that it's just a casual conversation that you have in a coffee day. Of course, we are talking technology, that's right, but you don't have to be very formal, right? Look at how Steve Jobs speaks when he makes even a product launch. Just imagine. That can make or break the company. Look at the way he speaks, look at the way he carries himself. And he's supposed to be the most powerful speaker of this generation, very effective. Everybody loves him because he speaks from his heart. He doesn't have a ready-made content and he just sticks to it and then delivers it. That's not the way great speakers are made. Look at Obama. Why is Obama considered to be a very great speaker? Because he has a lot of what is known as off-the-cuff or impromptu sentences that he makes. And that's when he connects with people. Of course, he has a prepared script. He has a lot of ghostwriters who will write the script for him. But when he delivers, he carries that charisma. And that is when he makes that connection with people. He will simply not stick to the script alone. Every now and then, he'll just go off track and then make some casual comment, remark, and lightens the mood. And that's when he makes the connection. That's when he breaks the barrier. And that's when he gets connected with people. I think it is very important as speakers that we understand that. So don't just stick to your content. Every time you are working on your body part of your speech, if there are 5 or 6 or 7 important bullet points or key messages that you want to drive, go with examples for each and every one. People will not understand. We all love stories, right? We all love stories. That's how everything, moral science, everything has been taught to us, right? I'll give you a small example of how technology has impacted. You can use this story. My daughter, she is now 13. When she was, I think 3 years or 2.5 years or 3 years old, that's when we had the computer at home, and then every time she wants to play games, I have to go log in. That's the stupidest thing that you have in this system, right? It's so annoying. Every time it gets locked, somebody has to go and log in. And I have to go and do it for her, and she just couldn't do it herself. So once I told her, you have to do it yourself. Now, for that, I have to tell her how to spell her name. Her name is Sheetal. So I told her Sheetal, and then I did that for a few days. And then after about a month or so, she was good enough to spell her name and then enter it. So one day she proudly told me, "Dad, I can do it myself." I went and really checked, was she really serious? And she was able to do that. I was really, really happy. So that night, some guest came home. And then I wanted to proudly tell about my daughter's achievement. So I called her, and then, "Sheetal, spell your name to this uncle." He said, Sheetal, enter. That's the impact of technology, right? And the story doesn't end here. I'll tell you, this story goes well across different cultures. I think this must be the 30th or 40th time I would have told this story. Right? I have a lot of speaking engagements every now and then. Once I went to Delhi, I had an assignment there. I went to Delhi. One of the things that we did, like there was a larger gathering that time, and then I told this story. The session was over. After about 1 hour, one lady walked up, and then I could sense that she was trying to have some conversation with me. So she came hesitatingly, and then came closer to me, and then extended her hand. That's how we introduced, right? So I also extended my hand, and she extended her hand, and then she said, "Enter." Now you know what her name is. So these stories are powerful. I can tell you that this cuts across culture. I'm from Chennai. I'm basically a Chennai Tamilian guy. Now this story is not found in Google, I can tell you. It is not available anywhere else. So when we think of stories, we always think of something that happened in Mahatma Gandhi's life, or Martin Luther King's life, or Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jackson, Obama. No. We can look at stories that has happened in our own life. There are millions and millions of things that keeps happening. Just that we don't care. We don't record it. We don't observe it. And we don't use it. That's the prettiest part. Now, I'll tell you the difference between telling a story that is available in public domain and telling your own personal story. Right? Now, if I talk about, let's say, Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, the problem with that story is it is known. There is a very high possibility out of this 100 odd people, maybe at least 50% may know the story. Because they have access to it, like you and I have access, they have access to it. It will not interest them. It will not inspire them. But what has happened in your life Nobody knows. Only you knows. And originality always scores. And when you tell something from your own personal life, one, it is original. Two, it really inspires people and it makes people feel that you and I are same. No matter what my designation is, no matter what skill I have, no matter what age I am, it makes no sense. If you're able to connect, you are laughing. Why did you laugh? It's because there was some connection, there was some barrier that was broken somehow. I don't know how. That's a magic. I don't know. That's the beauty of brain. So you have to make that personal connection. You will inspire only when you tell something from your own life. Something from your own life. This aunt story, it is true, it is real. My aunt told me some 20 years back. One good habit that I have is, in all the laptops I have, all the companies that I work for, I have also iMac at home. I have a folder. I keep writing, I keep recording. Every time I get a nice WhatsApp message or a SMS or a email forward or something that I read, I just scan it, I store it, so that I can always retrieve it. All I have to do is, before I go for speaking engagement, I quickly do a quick glance. That's all. And I will have some keywords. For me to connect with an audience, one of the word I will just have to remember is the word enter. I can tell a story about how technology impacts us. That's all. Very easy to remember. We have a keyword for every story. You don't have to remember the whole story. It's impossible. So I would encourage each and every one of you to maintain a folder, an electronic folder, or the way you want. Do it in your mobile, do it in your laptop or whatever, so that we don't lose it. These are wonderful contents. We wouldn't know the value of it. So, and keep using it and see where you can fit it in. When you're talking about some point, tell the story. If I just tell you, technology has a big impact on human being, do you think this message will get registered? If I tell it 25 times, it will still not get registered. But it will get registered now that I told you the story. You'll remember. Even if I come and talk to you, if I see you somewhere in cafeteria, after about 6 months, you will remember the story. And when story is